The alley. Damp, cold brick. A sliver of moon. Jamal walked. He was just going home after a long, hard day, thinking of a warm meal, thinking of his children's laughter. He did not see the approaching shadow, the shadow that carried a badge and a gun. He was a black man, alone in the night. Then a blinding light, a harsh command, a voice, sharp, cracking the silence. Commands barked like broken glass. He could not process them, not all at once, not fast enough for their liking. Fear, a cold, tight knot in his stomach. His hands went up, slowly. He tried to comply. He always tried. Too slowly, it seems, for them. One shot, the sound ripped through the night's fabric. Jamal fell. The grimy asphalt met his cheek. The world tilted, then blurred into darkness. Red, dark, and warm stained the cold ground. His breath hitched, a final ragged sigh. The officer stood over him, his gun still hot, smoking softly in the chill air. Another black body, now still. Another life taken. This was not just any alley, not anymore. It became a stage, a public square of sorrow. A terrible scene played out too many times before. The script yellowed with age, stained with blood. The ending, tragically predictable, always the same. A life stolen in an instant, a future erased without thought, a void created in the world, deep and forever, an echo that would not fade. This city, like so many American cities, it was built on a fault line, a deep hidden crack, a crack in its very foundation, that old wound, race, the American obsession, always present, sometimes hidden beneath a fragile surface, sometimes bleeding openly for all the world to see. Jamal knew this ancestral weight, this burden. He felt it daily, in looks, in whispers, in the fear in others' eyes, in the way he had to move through the world. The police, they were sworn to protect and serve. These are the words they speak. But protect whom? Serve whom? History whispers a different, harsher story, a truer story. For black people, the uniform often signified danger, a looming threat, not a promise of aid, not comfort, not safety, but apprehension. This is the brutal truth of our streets. This is the fear passed down, a legacy of distrust. Fear is a powerful tool, a weapon even. It is manufactured, carefully constructed. It is taught generation to generation in subtle ways. Fear of black men, the myth of inherent threat, in dark alleys, in their own cars, in broad daylight. This pervasive, irrational fear justifies the quick trigger. It excuses the fatal bullet before it even leaves the chamber. It labels the dead as inherently guilty, always. Their crime was their skin, their existence. So Jamal's death was not an anomaly. It was not new. It was an echo, a terrible, familiar sound, a haunting echo of past lynchings, of night riders, of past brutal beatings in station houses, of countless past injustices, buried and unburied. The names change, the faces blur into one another, but the pain remains, a constant throb. The system grinds on, relentless and unyielding, uncaring of the bodies it consumes. This is the inheritance. His mother received the call, the one every black mother dreads in the suffocating dead of night, when nightmares feel real. The words were cold, clinical, stripped of humanity. They made no sense. Jamal, her son, gone. How could this be? Why him? Why now? Her world fractured then. In that precise moment, it shattered into a million sharp, glittering pieces. A scream, silent and raw, lodged in her throat. A pain beyond all words. A mother's endless grief. His children. They would wake in the morning to a world forever changed, though they would not know it yet. They would ask their innocent, heartbreaking questions. Where is Daddy today? Is he at work? When is he coming home to play with us? How do you explain this gaping void, this sudden emptiness, this senseless violence, this deep-seated irrational hatred? Their childhood innocence, stolen too, snatched away, forever marked by this terrible loss, a scar on their young souls. The community gathered soon, as they always do. Candles flickered like fragile hopes in the encroaching darkness against the cold indifference of the city. Faces streaked with tears, contorted by grief and disbelief. Anger simmered, a low righteous burn beneath the sorrow. Another son, another brother, another friend, another neighbor, lost to the same old weary fight. The fight for simple breath, the right to exist, the right to walk home, the right to be. Trust already fragile, worn thin by years of betrayal. It crumbled like old stone into bitter dust. The police issued a statement, words carefully chosen. They said it was justified. Of course, they almost always say that. It is their script. But the people, they knew, they felt the truth. They saw the familiar sickening pattern, the official lies, the empty broken promises. The wound in the community, old and deep, was torn open again. It festered. It ached. They called it an investigation, a formal process. Official words on official paper, bureaucracy in motion, reports would be meticulously filed, statements taken, the officer involved placed on leave, paid administrative leave, of course, a paid vacation. This is the well-oiled machinery, smooth and practiced. It is designed to protect its own, its first priority. It grinds slowly, deliberately when it grinds at all for Black lives. For some, not for all. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice. Such a beautiful, hopeful word. A noble ideal. But what does it truly mean here, in this reality? In this blood-stained alley, on these unforgiving streets, for Jamal, for his grieving family, for his orphaned children? The scales of justice are not blind, they are not balanced, they are heavily weighted, tilted by design, by history, by power, by money, by the color of one's skin. This is the American reality, the uncomfortable truth. This tragedy is not about one bad officer, one bad apple. That is the easy lie, the comfortable deflection. It is about the entire orchard, the soil itself. The roots of this violence run deep, deeper than we admit. Into slavery's cursed soil, into segregation's bitter ground, into the persistent, insidious belief that some lives inherently matter less, that some bodies are disposable. This poisonous belief fuels the relentless machine. It powers the injustice. It demands our silence. So what now? What can be done? Where is the hope? We must dare to tear down their comfortable dream, the dream built on our backs, on our pain, the dream that allows this nightmare to persist generation after generation. We must fight with all we have for Jamal, for his memory, for his stolen future, for all the Jamals, past and future, known and unknown. We must demand profound systemic change, not reform, revolution, real lasting change, from the roots up until every alley is safe for every single body, always.